Welcome aboard, teenagers from outer space. I have a new episode of The Pull List, and I have 3 comics I picked up this week. They are Steven Universe and the Crystal Gems, number 1, Captain Marvel, number 3, and Power Man and Iron Fist, number 2. Let's start with our lead comic, Steven Universe and the Crystal Gems, number 1. And this is a book I've been waiting for. Partly because I really miss having Steven Universe comics, and 2, right now as we speak, we're in the middle of another hiatus for the TV series, so this is the only Steven Universe material we've gotten in the last few weeks now. And this is by a new team and from the previous comics. Jocelyn Fenton and Kristen Garland. And what they present is kind of a 4-issue miniseries here that's kind of like centered around a scary story. Essentially, the issue starts with Steven and the Crystal Gems going out camping. He wants to show them how to go camping like he and his dad does. They've never been camping, so they're not really familiar with the human concept of that. So he has to kind of teach them about making fires, making s'mores, making a tent, which is kind of hilarious. Pearl very proudly makes this weird contraption that wasn't the tent, and then we get to scary stories, and he tells the Crystal Gems in this little flash featuring Garnet in the role, and Onion and a female Onion as the children in that kind of have you checked the children kind of creepy story. And it ends with the children being gone, and the Crystal Gems kind of don't get it, which is kind of funny. They poke holes in his scary story. And actually, there is a story they used to tell Amethyst when she was younger. And this is interesting because this approaches something that I always kind of felt like Amethyst is sort of like the older sister to Steven. So in that respect, she was raised by Rose, Pearl, and Garnet, and this was a story they told her to keep her in line from going out into the woods without their supervision, which is about a creepy glass ghost that essentially turns a little girl just like her into like a shattered glass statue, which scares Steven and Amethyst. But they decide to call it a night. That's when Steven hears something, and dun dun dun, he runs into a real, probably glass ghost. This is fantastic. The art, unlike the previous series, this art is closer in tune with the animated series, and the writing style is excellent. It actually does feel a lot like In Spirit of the show, and one of the things I like so much is the interactions between Steven and the Gems as far as dealing with human concepts and kind of things we take for granted here in reality versus their super fantasy kind of like understanding. This is excellent. Very happy to have this back. This is a great beginning to a 4-issue miniseries. 5 RAM chips. If you dig Steven Universe or just curious what the thing is all about, this is actually not a bad start. Definitely recommend it. Now let's jump over to Marvel, Captain Marvel. This is issue 3. And this is by the team Michelle Fresquez, I guess, and Tara Butters. Let's see. Art is Chris Anka and Philippe Smith, actually. And Captain Marvel's been going through these weird flashbacks and hallucinations. Meanwhile, they're trying to figure out who's trying to sabotage the Alpha Flight satellite. And, Brand has her own suspicions, but they seem to be wrong, according to Captain Marvel. But Captain Marvel was going through these weird flashbacks, or they're to memories that she doesn't have. And I kind of had a feeling once we saw her in this costume, but there's a nice reveal when it gets to she's been infected with the original Captain Marvel's memories, and this is going back to stuff that happened before he came to Earth in battle, the Kree versus another alien race. And there's the thing that's kind of attacking the satellite and attaching itself is the thing that's kind of like reaching out and mixing with her DNA and trying to increase her powers, but it's not really working because she's half human. This is really cool stuff. The art's pretty good, and the mystery's kind of just deepening. I don't know what the hell's going on, but it's really fascinating. I'm going to give this 4 Ram Chips. Very good. Love the covers, too, by the way. Very nice stuff. And last but not least is the great Power Man and Iron Fist. And yeah, I guess I blew my cover on what I think of the book. It's awesome. And this is by David Walker and Stanford Green. When last we met our heroes, they're still, kind of broken up. They're still heroes, solo-wise. Although Luke Cage really doesn't have anything going on at the moment. He's mostly focused on raising his kid with Jessica Jones. And, Iron Fist is Iron Fist. And they recently reunited because their old assistant, Jenny, has gotten out of prison because she apparently murdered someone while possessed. And I'm not guilty because I was possessed apparently isn't a defense even in the Marvel Universe. You'd think it would be. But she just got out of jail. And she has apparently turned against them because she's now working with one of their former enemies, Black Mariah, who is a crime boss in New York. Not Kingpin big, but, she has her followers. Let's see. So, anyway, they tricked her into stealing this pendant that she said was important to her and her grandmother, but it is this weird kind of pendant of souls or something like that. While there's this cool sequence in the middle where Luke and Danny are talking about the old days, and Danny really wants to get back together after doing this. And you see, they took the pendant from Tombstone, and Tombstone's really mad about it, so he sends some goons after him. Let's see, there's a great scene where these henchmen are watching him, and they told Tombstone they hadn't found him yet, and that's because they don't want to get beat up, because they tell him, hey, we found them, we're going to have to go fight them, and they kind of don't want to, so they just kind of watch him for a while. And then 2 other supervillains show up, because the word is out they've stole something valuable, and people are after them. Let's see, Gorilla Man and Black Tarantula go after them, with an ensuing really cool fight that goes out of the diner and into the street. Let's see, what's an interesting cameo is Spider-Woman and Spider-Gwen are off to the side just watching. Thanks for the help, ladies, but let's see. And anyway, the fight ends. Our heroes win, but they're still trying to figure out. They're beginning to figure out that they have been had, and that Jenny has betrayed them. So they're going to have to start, digging up what's going on. Meanwhile, Black Mariah and Jenny get the pendant working and give Jenny these magical superpowers or something like that. Whatever Black Mariah's plan is, it's definitely to use it to her advantage. And I dig this cover. This is the cover to issue 3, by the way. God, this is fun. The dialogue is awesome. It's really tight. The art is really cool and really attractive, and has that kind of loose 70s feel to it, which without being too 70s. Matter of fact, there's a nice bit of social media going on here, and what's cool is the word has gotten out to all sorts of villains, to look for them. They stole Tombstone's pendant, and some of the villains kind of use social media to find them. Like Danny's wearing his Iron Fist mask at this diner, and they're talking. So like a bunch of people are posting pictures of them. So that's how they get found. And there's even a moment where Tombstone watches the fight that someone had posted, and he starts getting at his henchmen, essentially going, "Look, I saw you in the background. You didn't do anything." Holy crap, this is great. This is a really great issue. Loving this series so far. This is 5 Ram Chips. Go get this book. It's fantastic. I think good stuff all the way around. I've been lucky for the last few weeks. So I think that's it for now. And you have fun reading comics and push the button, Lindsay.